Just want to say hi to everybody on this press conference. Again, I know we're all anxious to start seeing some baseball. We're anxious to start playing. Players have worked really hard for a long time, and coming off the cancellation of last year's season, it just adds to that excitement for our team. So we're anxious to get going. We've done a lot of talking here for a while, a lot of interviews and press conferences, and now we're anxious to just get on the baseball field and start playing some baseball. So happy to answer any questions.
We'll start with Dave.
Mark, thanks for doing this. So just a couple logistical things. Is everybody healthy, ready to go? And with the weather, are you guys confident you'll be able to get this one in tomorrow?
Yeah, we're in a good spot, from the roster standpoint and weather-wise. It's pouring out here today, so we'll have to do some indoor workouts today. But as we look at the weather for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, everything looks really good.
Mike Gillespie.
Hey, Coach, thanks for doing this today. Just a couple quick questions for you. One, can you go through some of the COVID precautions that you guys are taking for both the players and the fans, kind of what fans can expect this year? And then number two, how confident are you guys in the system that you've come up with?
Yeah, we're very confident in the system that's been laid out and that we've helped try to create. Within our program, we've done some things like separating the locker rooms. We now have 2 locker rooms instead of 1, where guys are spaced so that there would be no contact tracing that goes to the locker room. During games, we'll have guys spaced out. We'll have more guys in the bullpen spaced out than we would normally have from first pitch. We'll have guys spaced out more than normal in the dugout. And we'll have a couple guys that maybe are not going to be playing in that game, maybe be sitting in the stands, close to the dugout. So we'll be doing a lot of things in that regard. Obviously, we'll be constantly encouraging our guys to keep their masks on. We were actually talking about that this morning. It's interesting when you watch basketball, because we've tried to learn from all the other sports. When you look at basketball on the sideline, they're very much spaced out. But then when you watch football games, whether it be college or NFL, they didn't seem to space out very much on the sidelines, but they wore their masks. They knew everybody had tested negative. So, it'll probably be somewhere in between. We're going to do everything we can to try to make sure that we're in good shape there, and we're not putting ourselves in harm's way. You can't do you can't control it. You can do everything that you can within your power to try to prevent it, but you still might get hit with it at some point, because there still is a matter of luck involved. So I feel good about the protocols in place. And now it's just a matter of hoping for the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Go to Colin Taylor.
Hey, Mark, obviously you have some options, but I'm just curious, how do you see the leadoff spot working for you guys in the lineup? And is it some guy that you would like to have start all 56 regular season for you? Or do you anticipate that being one of those where it changes from game to game?
I anticipate going into the season with Brady Allen as our leadoff hitter. He's developed into one of the better hitters in our conference in the country. He's strong, he's mature, he takes really professional at bats. He gets on base at a very high clip. His on base percentage is really in a good spot. So, but he can also jolt you, with some power out of that leadoff spot. So to me, he's the best guy we have for that right now. But we've also had guys like Noah Myers lead off in the past, and Noah Myers has had a really good spring for us. So he's the last game we played last year, actually, Noah Myers, in a game we won 10-1, led off and went 4 for 4. So feel good that if we need to go that route at some point, we can do that. So we'll have options, but going into the season, we'll start with Brady Allen and see how that goes.
Go to Greg.
Hey, Mark, I was just curious, going off of that, are there any lineup spots or position battles where it might come down to the wire of tomorrow, or do you feel mostly like you've got it mostly locked in now?
I think we're in a good spot. But again, there may be some platoon situations, and there'll be some domino effects where maybe they're throwing a lefty, so you go a little bit more right-handed heavy. They're throwing a righty. You may go try to sneak another lefty or two in there. On days, Wes Clark will be starting the season as our DH, but on days where he catches, that will open up a couple spots, for guys. So a lot of this will have to do with who's playing, who's pitching, what are the conditions. So I anticipate we'll have a group that's a little bit more than 9 that are kind of rotating, but there are some guys that will be in there every day, and then there's some guys that are just on the verge of being that everyday guy that might share a little bit of time with a different type player, whether it's left, right, or speed, power, or offense, defense, etc.
Next, go Jack Veltri.
Hey, Coach, just two quick questions for you. One, what went into the decision-making process of calling on Thomas Farr to pitch on opening day? And then two, are there any freshmen that Gamecock fans should keep an eye on this season?
Yeah, number one, we feel really good about our entire weekend rotation. Farr, Jordan, and Bosnick, I think, give us a chance every game we play to have success. We went with Farr just it was close. It could have been either one of those other guys, but we just felt like experience-wise and how he's been pitching and everything he does just screams that he can be a Friday night guy. And I would say the same about the other two guys as well, but we just lean kind of with our gut on Farr right now. But like everything else, that could rotate throughout the course of the season. Jordan could end up being our best guy. Bosnick could end up being our best guy. There's a number of guys, but we have a lot of confidence in Farr taking the ball on Friday, and we'll just kind of go and see where it develops from there. Freshman wise, I would think the great majority of the freshmen that did get a lot of impact for us this year will be on the pitching side. So you're looking at the Will Sanders, the Leansmans, the Cottos, the Mahoneys, the Phipps. Those are probably the first five guys that jump off the page in my mind of freshman pitchers that will help impact this team. So I would say from the young guys standpoint, those are the guys early on. That's who you need to be aware of.
Go next to John Whittle.
There's obviously always a desire to sweep and always a sense of urgency to start the year. But is there any added importance this year on getting off to a hot start to build guys' confidence? Because there's really not a series in non-conference play that you have a chance to take a breather and kind of regroup. Once Dayton is kind of gone, you jump into the rivalry series, a Mercer team that's really good, and then Texas.
I mean, John, our mindset, and this is going to sound cliche, and this is what every coach is going to tell you. And, the media's job is to talk about sweeps and how many games you need to win and all that. Our job and our mindset really is 1-0 today. I mean, and I know you're going to hear that from football coaches, and you guys are going to laugh that that's a cliche. But we can't get ahead of ourselves. Every team we play is going to be a team that you need to respect, and that starts opening weekend. The mid-major teams, and that's a term some people like and don't like, have never been older and more experienced than they've ever been because of COVID. So you're going to see mid-major teams that are much better and experienced and play the game at a higher level than you've ever seen. So we will respect everybody we play because of that. And we're going to play some very old teams that maybe the name recognition isn't there. But this team we're playing this weekend does some really good things. They've got a Friday night starter that's ranked in the top 150 pitchers in the country on D1 baseball. So we're going to respect everybody we play. And my job as the coach is just to make sure that on that day we have one game. Our goal is to go 1-0. And if we win that game, the next day it's the same thing. If we lose that game, the next day it's the same thing. That's your only choice in athletics. Someday, when I'm outside of athletics, maybe I'll be able to talk about sweeps and these are the games you should win and lose. Our job only is to just say, okay, what's the opponent today? Let's go 1-0 today.
Let's go to Phil Kornblut.
Hey, Mark, your pitching
Hey,
plans, how you doing? Your pitching plans for this weekend in terms of how much work you want to get out of your starters, will they be on a pitch count? How will you handle them?
Yeah, they'll be in that 80 to 85 pitch range. We've been working them towards that, and then you hope by the second weekend they can be at their normal pace of pitches. So this first weekend they won't be at full go, but they'll be close, and then by week 2 we should be status quo.
Colin?
Mark, you talked about going 1-0 each day, and obviously the main goal of this weekend is to sweep and win all 3 games. And I'm just curious, outside of winning the games, what are you looking for from your team? What do you want to see, and what do you kind of determine to be a successful weekend for you guys outside of winning?
Yeah, I just want to see us play good baseball. Again, we can control what we can control. Again, more cliches for you. But our job is to continue to evaluate our lineup. I want to see our guys play at the top of their game. I want to see guys, be intense, but also relaxed. One thing is I'm looking at this is they haven't played for a long, long time. And so I don't want them to be too ramped up and too hyped up. I want them to manage, their emotions. So I want them to play with emotion, but not be emotional. is something we talk about a lot. So I just want to see us play good baseball. I want to see our pitchers throw strikes. I want to see our hitters take good at bats. I want to see us play airtight defense. I just want to see us play the kind of baseball that you need to play in the SEC.
Go to Reggie Anderson.
Hey, Mark. Last year, everything normal. This year, obviously, it's not the case. How do you balance the excitement of opening day with the fact that we're still obviously in a pandemic?
Yeah, it's just day by day, like everybody. Same way you guys are doing. It's you have to make adjustments. You have to be flexible in things that are going on. There's just not a lot of things that are normal right now. We won't have as big a crowd tomorrow as we normally would have. And so actually, I may have neglected that question earlier on. From a fan standpoint, I think our fans will, the fans that are able to come to our games are going to really enjoy the experience. I think they're going to feel safe. They're going to be spaced out, obviously, much more than normal. So it'll be similar to what they've seen at the other sports. But at the end of the day, I just think that we have to do the best we can, and the guys have done a nice job to this point. We just have to understand this is the reality in 2021. It's not all wine and roses right now. We get a chance to play baseball. Let's take advantage of it. Let's appreciate that and go from there.
Dave?
Mark, where do you like Brett Carey this season? Is he going to close again, or could he work into a midweek spot, maybe even a weekend spot?
He's going to start the season as our closer, and we'll go from there. He's a guy I just have tremendous confidence in at the end of the game. And so, with the three guys we have starting right now, he's in that group of the elite pitchers on our staff, in our opinion. And so the next most important role on a staff is the closer. And so you want to start the game with elite guys. You want to end the game with elite guys. And the better you are, the more elite guys you have in the middle. But for right now, in our opinion, the best use of Brett's talents are as a closer. Could that change? Of course. I mean, it could change based on performance. It could change based on COVID. It could change based on injuries. A lot of things. The only thing we know right now is we don't know the future. So that's where he'll start, and we'll go from there.
John Whittle.
Have you decided on an opening day starter in center field?
Yes.
Can you share with us who it is and why?
No. We'll get that to you tomorrow. That's that competition. Obviously, we feel really good about it. There's more than one guy, and we may play the matchups. I talked about earlier, how the lineups. That's a position where you probably won't see a guy play every single day early on, because we want to get more than one guy has earned the opportunity out there to play based on the performance this spring. So we may play matchups. We may play, defense over offense, because one of the guys out there is learning the position. One of the guys out there has been a center fielder his whole life. One of the guys, might offer more power potential. The other, they both can steal bases. So it's something that we feel really good about both guys right now that are in the mix. And so we'll announce that tomorrow, close to game time. Got to leave something for you guessing on.
Colin Taylor.
Hey, Mark, two questions for you. First, is there a set number of arms you'd like to see out of the bullpen this weekend, or is it just kind of going with the game flow between what you and Skylar talk about in the dugout?
Yeah, Colin, we'll go with the game flow. Again, a lot of it will have to do with, your starting pitchers. The further they go into the game, the less maybe the bullpen will be used. If they get to their pitch counts earlier, then you're going to see more guys. So a lot of that is going to have to do with how those starters are doing.
I guess a lot of the position players, it's very right-handed heavy in terms of offensive hitters. Is that a concern to you, or do you feel good about the number of left-handed quality bats you have in this lineup to use?
Well, I feel really good about David Mendham. Obviously, he's come on tremendously this spring. Josiah Seitler has made some really good improvements. Joe Satterfield is a left-handed hitter that will provide a lot of versatility for us off the bench. Connor Sino is a lefty that's a freshman working his way in, but he's taken a lot of really good at bats. And then Noah Myers, left-handed hitting center fielder, who hit over 300 last year. I think we have some options there. It's just a matter of getting them in there and having them do well.
Go Mike Gillespie.
Mark, it's obviously been a pretty tough year all around for everybody, but South Carolina athletics too, between football, men's basketball. Do you guys feel like you could be maybe like a sort of like a beacon of hope at the end of a tough athletic season?
I mean, again, I think that I put that in the category of there's things you can control and you can't control. Our job is to just go play great baseball. And, if that can be, of service to our athletic department and our fans and obviously we want to play well because we know it brings joy to fans. And so that's something that we want to do. Now, thinking about it too much or feeling the weight of that, I don't think that does anybody any good. We just want to go out and play the best baseball we can.